what I want to show in this video on September 10th at 10:04 is this story. Here we go. Now, that phrase reminds me of the 9/11 let's roll phrase. And I know for a fact it's not an accident. So those who think that it is, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm going to prove my case anyway. So here's the 19. Trump responds to Putin's drone incursion, which is drones over Polish territory. So it's not 20 drones. It's not 15 drones. It's not 25 drones. No, not for this story. It's not. It's 19 drones. Okay, the day before the anniversary of 19 hijackers hijacking airplanes on 9/11. And, of course, it was 19 years before COVID-19. So anyway, here in this story, we have 5 19s. So we have they violated at least 19 Russian drones, right? That's in the very least. So maybe it could have been 20, right? So after at least 4 out of 19 Russian drones, the incident in which about 19 drones. So now it's about 19 drones. Here it's Poland had identified 19 violations. So whether it was about or not, I'm confused now. Okay, so 7 Polish investigators say they have found the remains of 7 drones out of a total of 19. So there is 19, so I'm not really sure. Anyway, so there's your story for the day. Now, this comes the day after Nepal's government is attacked and tortured for apparently communism didn't work out too good in Nepal. Apparently when it came right down to it and they wanted to shut down social media because, social media, you have to have those truth tellers and those fact checkers, because if you let the public run wild with these stories, they'll make up all these conspiracies about 19, and the next thing you know, all order is just shot to hell. That wonderful communist utopia is being threatened by freedom of speech. So then you also had the Minister of Health in Sweden collapse on her first day during her first speech of the new government of Sweden. And she just, I'm sure a lot of you saw the clips. She just collapsed. And there happens to be a cross on the flag. You can see the cross, whether you think it's an X or a cross. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter whether you believe in British Israelism or what's called the Great Replacement theology. The Christian nations are the nations that Abraham would be the father of. And this video is not about that. I'm just going to mention it in passing. So when we go to the King James Version Bible and we look at the word conspired, and obviously I have to keep saying this, I have to keep doing this over and over so people will understand. There's 19 verses found out of 19 matches. That means it's 19. The word conspired. And then the word conspiracy is in there 10 times. So when people call you a tinfoil hat wearer for bringing up this type of information, you just need to realize that it's not you. It's definitely them, because there is conspiracy. It's in the Bible. The word conspired is in there 19 times. So COVID-19 was aptly named, and it wasn't an accident. 19 hijackers on 9/11, not an accident, not a coincidence. So I wanted to point out, while we're on the topic of 9/11, that Joshua 9/11 is where one of the major conspiracies began. And I'm just going to read the 9/11. Wherefore our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spake to us, saying, take victuals with you for the journey, and go to meet them, and say unto them, we are your servants, therefore now make ye a league with us. Now, the word league right there is the precursor, in my opinion, to the League of Nations, which also became the United Nations after what was it, World War One, where the separation, I believe it was World War Two, after peace failed. The League of Nations was supposed to be created for world peace, but then that didn't happen because of, well, if I said because of the Balfour Agreement, then you might be wondering, what's the Balfour Agreement? And we could look that up real quick. The Balfour Declaration is a document that was created November 2nd. So that's also your BB code in case Jer's going to watch this. In case you're going to watch this. So 1917, the document is created. It's about creating the state of Israel. And so, like I said, this League of Nations, I believe, has a whole lot to do with that. And it turns into the United Nations. And so that's the book of Joshua, where these people, these Gibeonites, lie about who they are and say they're from a far country when really they're from right there where Joshua was ordered to kill everybody. So they're lying to him, and he makes them the servants to serve for the sacrifices, the water, and cut the wood. Then we go to Revelation. We go to Revelation 9/11, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. So this Abaddon in the English ordinal, I believe, Donald J. Trump equals 148. Abaddon equals 148. And I'm sure you'll say, oh, well, Elon, you didn't add Elon's middle name or initial. There's 110. And there's 110 for Elon Musk, which, remember, this year kicked off with a attack on New Year's Day in Vegas at Trump's hotel with a special forces guy in a Cybertruck. So don't forget about that. I think that pretty much will finalize the information I wanted to go over real quick. Hope that this video wasn't too long. All right, that should do it.